Good Friday, everyone. Welcome to GardenStateWeather.com and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith on this rather foggy start this Friday, and get used to it because the late nights and early morning hours this weekend are going to be foggy, followed by lots of sunshine and very warm air across the northern mid-Atlantic region. This is the video forecast discussion for Friday, the 11th of December, 2015. And if you're making your way out the door early this morning, we've got some fog across the areas here along the coast and in New York City metropolitan areas. Some fog advisories. We'll get to those in a minute. The fog over the interior is lifting quickly as the sun is rising. Temperatures are chilly this morning, ranging in the low to mid 30s over the hillier spots of northwestern New Jersey, the lower Hudson Valley area, interior Connecticut as well. Everybody else is in the low to the mid 40s, and it's already 50 degrees and rising in Central Park and up to 44 in Philadelphia, and the air temperatures are going to be soaring today into the 60s. And we have some dense fog advisories along the coast of New Jersey here from Long Branch all the way down to Atlantic City, and further down close to, the tip here of the Delaware Bay. We have fog advisories until 10 this morning for some very dense fog and marine fog too. Dense fog advisories here until 10 a.m. Out on eastern Long Island too, we have a marine dense fog advisory for New York City, just east from around Hicksville and Levittown all the way to Montauk Point. We have dense fog advisories which are expiring at 8 this morning, and also for portions of southeastern Connecticut from just about New Haven all the way to Norwich this morning. Satellite view this morning outside of the low clouds and stratus and fog across the eastern sections and coastal sections this morning. We're already seeing the sunshine breaking out over just about everywhere over the top of the fog here, and it's going to be a very warm day. We had some very warm temperatures yesterday. Temperatures reached the upper 50s and lower 60s across the region, which again is some 10 to 15 degrees above normal for where we should be at this time of the year. Temperatures right now currently are still in the low to mid 30s over the interior, upper 40s to around 50 in the metropolitan New York City area. On the aviational weather deck this morning with that fog, we do have some limited IFR and MVFR conditions around the region, and it's varying by location. Low clouds and fog affecting portions of the area, mainly southern and eastern sections. Later this morning, all sites become VFR, and another day of great flying weather is in store, with high pressure bringing quiet weather and unseasonably warm temperatures to the region. Mainly calm winds this morning becoming southwest under 10 knots this afternoon, light and variable again after sunset tonight. The mild temperatures will again trigger another round of some low clouds and ceilings and visibilities around the region early on Saturday morning. Now the flying weather for Saturday night, or Saturday right through Sunday night, mostly VFR, some patchy fog, low clouds Saturday and Sunday mornings. Monday and Monday night, widespread MVFR and IFR possible with showers, some of them heavy low-level wind shear is also possible on Monday afternoon and evening. Tuesday, mostly VFR. Right now outside of Newark, it is 48 degrees, which is very mild for this time of the year, dew point 44, humidity 86%, visibility 7 miles, and improving conditions with VFR over the top this morning. Right now outside Philadelphia we are in VFR, but there is still some fog out there. Scattered clouds at 25,000, lower visibilities at the ground level with some fog at 4-mile visibility, temperature 44, dew point 40, humidity 85%. VFR conditions going to be in place very shortly. With those storm systems crashing into the west coast yesterday, we had quite a bit of hail and lightning and wind damage here across northern California and southern Oregon. And just to the north in Sacramento, they had some lightning strikes in the Sierra Nevada mountains here of California and Nevada. We had some snow, and that snow began to pile up. Some very strong winds in Idaho Falls and just west of Salt Lake City yesterday as the storm system crashes on and makes its way into the central United States. We also have a very deep storm entering into Lake Superior this morning and moving into Atlantic Canada. And as a result of that, or southeastern Canada near Quebec and Ottawa and Ontario here, we had some very strong winds associated with this deep area of low pressure as it moves further away. And high pressure south of this region looks like a Bermuda high configuration here on the charts here off the mid-Atlantic and South Atlantic coast states, pumping in a surge of mild air over the top of the fog this morning. Northwestern Pacific, a new storm coming in right now, and we've had some considerable amount of snow and rain right along the coast, and this is going to continue into the mountains here as the system slides in to the central plains by the time we get into later on Saturday morning and Saturday night. Widespread rain, thunderstorms going to be occurring as the storm deepens across the plains here and then heads up towards the Great Lakes again with a slow, begrudgingly moving cold front through the region. And this first will be a warm front in our region by Monday morning, followed by a cold front. And all of this rain will be increasing across the eastern United States under an envelope of southwesterly winds, low-level wind shear, and gusty conditions by Monday afternoon and Monday evening, and very warm temperatures. Near record-breaking, actually. There we go with that sunshine today working over the atmosphere. Five. 62 in the city, 65 in Philadelphia. As we get into Monday, or Sunday actually, we're finding temperatures in the mid-60s, 64 in New York City, getting close to 70 degrees in Philadelphia. We're going to do it again on Monday. Temperatures on Monday will be around 63 in the city before everything crashes, 66 in Philadelphia. The rain comes in, things cool down on Tuesday. Temperatures still above normal, 58 in New York City, right around 60 degrees in New York, in Philadelphia. And by Wednesday, temperatures around 54 in the city and 56 again. Still warm for this time of the year, but there are hints of changes coming over the next 10 days to cool down the atmosphere back to where it should be. Understanding these microphone drop-offs is another problem here. Warm front, deep low pressure system cutting up through the Great Lakes area. By the time we get into Monday, the warm front comes through, the cold front comes through, moderate to heavy pockets of downpours coming through the region until the cold front comes through the region on Monday night, early Tuesday morning, and it's tied to another storm system lifting up towards the Great Lakes with another warm front approaching the region by the middle part of next week. Another surge of warm air coming in above normal averages for this time of the year, and then the cold front comes through, and that's when the areas of high pressure and cooler air are actually going to start taking hold across the forecast region. Next 6 to 10 days, basically from the CPC, December 16th through the 20th, still calling for above normal, mostly so across the northeastern United States, the northern mid-Atlantic region, much below normal in the southwest and western coast, and near to slightly above. I could think of a song if I had a hammer to hammer this microphone down to the ground. Just tired of these interruptions. This is the 500 millibar pattern from the European Ensemble Model Guidance from today out through December 21st or so, and we find the coldest anomalies locked up near the pole here, very active Pacific flow pattern across the region. As we go into the future, we're going to find a series of disturbances moving through the west coast into the east coast, but notice the ridge of higher heights here across the eastern United States. That's what's continuing our very mild and warm conditions, and then these lows crash. We can see differences here in the juxtaposition or position actually of the polar vortex and these disturbances, these mini vort lows breaking away from it, or kind of, well, breaking away basically. That would be the best way to describe it. And that's going to influence the 500 millibar pattern through the central plains and eventually the east coast as we head into closer to Christmas time. Some of the colder air bleeding into the eastern United States, and we could get one cold shot here before Christmas, and that could bring a little bit of snow. We're not so sure just how far south and east this is going to get before it winds up becoming more zonal again. As we can see by the 240 hour here, everything begins to lift and consolidate once again over the poles here, and we're just left with a slightly west to east zonal flow by the time we head into the 21st of December. Taking a look at the European model guidance, 500 millibar heights across the region. Here's our low entering the fray here into, well, the Great Lakes this morning. I want you to pay attention to the heights here. If they continue to build like a Bermuda high situation across the eastern United States, trough building into the west and then slides to the east, that low begins to move up towards the Great Lakes and then bleeds cooler air eventually into the region. It won't be initially on during this week coming up, but the following week at the end of the period here as we head towards Saturday next weekend, we'll have a coastal storm somewhere along the east coast is showing up on the operational runs as well, both the European and GFS model guidance, and then cold air surges east briefly, and there could be some snow with this cold air on the backside of this as we head just before Saturday, Sunday, December 20th, 21st, and then look, that's out of here as more zonal flow and high pressure reestablishes itself once again over the eastern United States. So the cold isn't going to lock in, but there is some trouble afoot. GFS forecast from next Thursday, the 18th of December, which is December 17th. Coastal storm gets going here, crosses over the Piedmont area, and then deepens rapidly off the New Jersey coast, and it's raining quite moderately so across the forecast region if this is correct. And on the backside, as this deepens into Atlantic Canada and northern New England, it brings a cold swath of air behind it. Now this is the first punch, then a second punch of cooler air begins to filter in just in time for pre-holiday festivities. Another coastal storm gets going here on Tuesday the 22nd. It's a mild pattern, but still on the back edge of this, some cooler air building in. Could be left off with some white flakes in the air just before Christmas time, so all is not lost. And a cooler punch with lower heights here, 540 thicknesses lowering down to the Virginia Capes here. There's some cool air just around Christmas time. It doesn't mean it's going to snow, it just means that we're going to get back to where we should be for this time of the year, and that doesn't look like it's going to last entirely that long either. We can see this in the European ensemble means, which is a blend of all the forecasts together. Here's our large ridge of very warm heights and warm weather across the eastern United States, trough in the west and southwest. Eventually these culminate with another storm system coming in from off the Pacific. By the time we head into late next week, the ridge axis slides to the east and a trough is being replaced in this. But notice how the cold air here in the trough axis here over the eastern United States by the 20th is being pulled along by another fast flow in the west, and then heights rebuild in the same areas that they were previously. And yes, I'm paying very close attention to the GFS and the ensemble model guidance from the European packages as well, and we're paying attention to the stratosphere and everything here as we move into the winter. For everything live, it's GardenStateWeather.com, GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You have a fantastic Friday and a most enjoyable, mild, near record-breaking weekend. We'll be back in video form on Monday morning.